Hey guys, I'm Aaron, your resident stay-at-home dad, and I'm here to talk about Nex Playground, a next-generation video game system that's designed for you and your family to get up and moving and having a great time. We got ours a few months ago, and I wanted to make sure that I had a full understanding of how it worked, and to make sure it was worth it. It cost about $200, so I wanted to make sure that before I recommended it to friends and family, that it was something we were going to get a lot of use out of. So we tried it, and certainly it's been a lot better than I even expected. Now, the recommended age is 5 and up, but when we got this, my daughter was about 3.5. I wasn't totally sure how she was going to adjust to it. She doesn't have a lot of experience with video games, so I was skeptical to say the least going into it. Having said that, though, she picked it up really, really quickly. In fact, she's using it regularly and getting a lot of exercise. She's problem solving. She's having a ton of fun doing it. It has been so much fun to watch. In fact, I don't know if you can tell, I have a little bit of a husky voice right now, getting over a cold. And this was a lifesaver this week. We have a newborn baby. My daughter was running around. She felt fine. So I'm trying to think of stuff she can do that will get her tired out, having fun, while also holding our child, our newborn, and trying to get over my cold and not get anybody sick. She played Next Playground for several hours this week, and it made a gigantic difference. She was able to get some exercise. She was having fun with it. She was able to try new games. It's been such a fun experience and far better than I even anticipated. Now, if you're old like me, this may remind you of a Nintendo Wii or something like that, which I used to play a lot when I was in college. That was a lot of fun. The big difference here is with Next Playground, you're talking about an AI-powered camera that really uses motion learning to sense how you're going to move and then translate that to the characters on the screen. That may sound like a small thing, but the reason why that's big is, in this case, my 4-year-old, her movements are very jerky, kind of unpredictable. But even though hers are a lot different than mine, when we're playing together, the characters mimic exactly what we're doing far better than you would expect. Also, one thing that's very, very nice, unlike the Wii, you don't have to actually hold a controller or anything like that and risk it getting whipped into the TV, something that I actually saw happen several times and something that caused me and my friends to get in an awful lot of trouble when we broke a couple TVs. So this is much, much easier. You only use the controller to pick the game, and then the rest is taken care of because it's just your hands, it's your feet, everything else is done for you, and it makes a gigantic difference. I also want to show you what we're talking about when I say the next generation Next Playground console. This is it. It's that small. It fits into the palm of my hands. That may not sound like a big thing, but it's important to me because when I'm having guests over, I don't want to have a big boxy console that's sitting there right by the TV. It's distracting. It doesn't look great. This is so small, nobody even notices it. And there's you can have a little shield that goes over the camera so you don't have to worry about anything like that. It really makes such a huge difference and is great for when we're entertaining, when we're just having friends and family over, and just simply, we don't have to look at it all the time. And that is an attractive feature that I never really realized I wanted until I became an adult. But here we are, and it's something that I really like about Next Playground. Now, I mentioned before that Adley didn't have a lot of experience with video games other than maybe occasionally playing something on my phone when I needed her to be quiet for a second. So this was something that I wasn't totally sure about, but she picked this up really, really quickly. I mean, in a matter of minutes, she understood what to do. We started off with Whack-A-Mole, which is part of the starter kit, and it is so much fun. It enabled both of us to play together. It's something that we still do regularly. That was great. We moved on to another game in the starter kit, which is called Party Foul. There are probably 24 mini games you can play in there. And this is where Adley really, really thrived. She found several games that she was good at to the point where I stopped letting her win, and she was still beating me, which is super irritating because I'm a competitive guy. I like to win, even when it comes to my 4-year-old. So that required some adjustment on my part, and several times when my wife said, just let her win, stop getting competitive. So we moved on to that. The starter kit comes with 4 games. That's all included in the $200 price. But if you want to go a step further, they have the annual pass, which is what we use. It's $89 for the year, which is a great deal when you consider you're going to end up getting another 20 games or so. I mean, there's a wide variety, whether you're talking about Peppa Pig, which, as you can imagine, Adley is a big fan of. There's other games. There's fitness stuff. There's exercising. There's a lot of great stuff in here. And what's great about that annual pass is it's not just the initial games you get. I mean, you get a lot of them. There's about 20 additional titles, but they keep adding more of them. I just got an email a couple of weeks ago that there was going to be Tennis Smash and Brick Buster added to that annual pass lineup. So when we go back and play again, not only are we revisiting some of the old favorites that my daughter really, really enjoys, but now we're getting to explore new titles, and that's all included with what we bought. So this has been a great experience. This probably sounds a little bit like a sales pitch, and I don't mean it to, because Nex Playground ended up being a really, really fun activity for my family and I. We live in Florida, and it's summertime. So we spend some time outside, but it's really, really hot. And so we have to limit what we can do outside. And this has been a salvation for us, because now we can play, we can be active, we can have fun, and we're not going to be sweltering in the heat. We can do it all inside, and we could still be doing a lot of things together as a family, having fun, moving, exercising. In the case of my daughter, problem solving, all skills that I want her to have and want to cultivate in her. And we get to see that every single day with Nex Playground. So I said at the beginning of this video, I wanted to see if this is something I would recommend to my family and friends. And I can say very strongly that it is. And it's something that's worked really, really well for us. Hope you enjoyed this review of Nex Playground. Make sure you leave a comment. Let me know what you think, as well as a like, so we can continue to spread this to more and more people. And if you have any other ideas of something you may want us to take a closer look at, make sure you let us know in the comments below as well.